Bing. Alright, what up? This is Comic Radio. We're going to talk about comics and stuff and read out comics. My name is Aiden.
My name is Byron.
I'm Grifin.
And he's Griffin.
And we are
I already said Comic Radio, dude.
Comic Radio.
Yep. Alright, dude, read your thing.
Okay. We're going to be reading Spider-Man Blue by Jeff Loeb and, Tim Sale?
Yeah, Tim Sale.
It was published by Marvel Comics. All the content discussed in this podcast is for commentary purposes only. We take the work of famous comic book stories and we narrate, voice act, and commentate it so you can go about your day working, driving, doing the dishes, or whatever you want to do for the day. Or if you're just unsure about buying the book and you want to know what it's like, you can listen to this before you make your purchase. All the rights go to the original works, belong to the respective owners. Now let's dive into this.
Beautifully said.
I know.
Alright, yeah, so we are doing
My first
Spider-Man
legal reading.
Blue.
Ish. Quotations on
Ish.
legal reading. We're not binded by this.
Yeah, no. We're kind of doing Spider-Man Blue.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with a nice Chapter 1, My Funny Valentine. Alright.
Say funny.
Yeah, I said funny. You're hilarious. Alright. Alright, I will start with some good old narration. It's a late night. Spider-Man is swinging around town as a voice recording of Peter plays. It takes Peter a little bit to get his device to start working, but once he does, it's clear that he's leaving a message for somebody. Hello? Does this thing work? Okay, so, it's Valentine's Day, and I don't feel much like anybody's Valentine, but odd as it seems, I find myself wanting you. When we see, unbelievable. We then see that Peter is headed to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. Peter obviously misses whoever he's speaking to, reminiscing on the first Valentine's card that he receives from this mysterious person. You'll never know this, I know that, but someday there may be someone who would know about you, about us. Your name was Gwen Stacy. Mine is Peter Parker. This is the story of how we fell in love. Or maybe it's better suited to say how we almost didn't fall in love. He's carrying a rose that he places atop the bridge as he stares off into the distance. Every year on Valentine's Day, I come to this place. Nobody knows about it. I don't really make a big deal of it. Peter dwells on the thought that he thinks that he was going to spend the rest of his life with Gwen. Not that she would spend the rest of her life with him. Peter jumps off the bridge and swings away. People always tell you not to dwell on the past when you lose somebody. But I kind of laugh at that. Why would I ever want to forget you? As he swings off, the rose begins to slowly fall to the ground. The way your hair used to fall across your face, how you used to sip your soda. And as the rose falls into a puddle on the ground below, Peter says, "Hello, Gwen, my funny Valentine." When we go back in time to a younger Spider-Man face-to-face with the Green Goblin in a warehouse, Spider-Man is unmasked while the Green Goblin is flying on his glider above him, looking down at Spider-Man. The Goblin has Peter trapped in his chair, with his hands tightly tied behind his back, and he says, "Let it rip."
Take a long look, Parker. This is the last face that you're ever going to see.
Oh, how could I forget? My best friend's dad turned out to be the Green Goblin. My best friend. Are you starting to see how this bad-good thing works? Peter makes some quips about the Goblin's appearance. His hands, still tied behind his back, begin to strain. "What's wrong, Norman? You don't want to see those pretty teeth of yours before sending me to the pearly gates?" Goblin creeps up closer, getting right in Peter's face.
You think I'm afraid to face you? Me?
I was actually betting that you'd be too ugly to face me, but I guess afraid works too.
What are you? Oh.
Peter doesn't give Green Goblin the chance to finish his sentence. With his legs being the only part of his body that isn't restrained, he launches them straight up, hitting Green Goblin, leaving behind a thudding whack. Peter uses the momentum from his kick to fall backwards, breaking the chair into pieces. He flips back to his feet, his hands still tied behind his back. The whole time he is making jokes while the Green Goblin, still on his glider, flying around Peter, looking to get the drop on him.
Rest assured, Parker. You only got out of your restraints because I let you.
Well, rest assured, Norman. Peter
Thwip.
catches... yeah, thwip. Yeah, Peter catches Goblin off guard, shooting out webs from behind his back. He hits the front of the Goblin's glider. Using Green Goblin's own momentum against him, Peter whips the Goblin around the room before slamming him on a table full of notes and test tubes, leaving behind a loud splat as papers go flying and chemicals spill everywhere. Spider-Man, using his super strength, snaps the ropes that bound his hands together and puts his mask back on, saying, "Alright, Goblin, let's finish this once and for all." Then he uses both hands. He webs up Norman against the wall.
Did webs.
Then wham! Spider-Man steps in and strikes the Goblin across the face with a smashing left hook, continuing to make jokes that are aggravating the Green Goblin beyond belief. Bam! He comes back with a right hook and hits Norman again. "You're gonna respect the webbing, Gobby, just like you're gonna respect..." While beating the brakes off of Green Goblin, something is setting off Peter's spider sense. With two thwups, Green Goblin breaks off the webs that were holding his fist prisoner. At the same time, his glider comes flying in, striking Spider-Man directly in the back of the head. But Spider-Man recovers in time to dodge an oncoming blast from the Green Goblin's fingertip.
You're just a little punk kid.
I'm not gonna lie, I was hitting him as hard as I could. How in the world is he still standing? The Goblin then throws an abundant amount of bat-shaped blades towards Spider-Man, but Peter, doing a handstand, flips out of the way of danger, avoiding all the blades that were hurled his way.
I was very disappointed when I found out who was behind that mask of yours. My greatest enemy is just a schoolboy? Pathetic!
Norman, with a crazed look in his eyes, says,
You're nothing but a disappointment, just like my own son.
"Now why would you have to bring Harry into this? I don't even like the guy that much." Norman, overcome with anger due to Peter saying Harry's name, chucks a pumpkin bomb at Peter, exclaiming,
You leave my son out of this.
With the thwip of a web, Peter catches the pumpkin bomb, then redirects the bomb right back where it came from. Whoa! Norman is blown back with the intense explosion. Objects around the room go flying into the air, along with him. Clang, 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 clang. The room now covered in fire, pipes burst, makeshift lab destroyed. Spider-Man standing over Norman's still body lying on the floor. Peter reaches for Goblin's mask when suddenly...
What's happening? What am I wearing?
Peter rips off the mask of Green Goblin. It would be so easy if I just left him here. The smoke, the burning building. It would be so easy if I wanted to believe that he's lying. How could he not remember anything that just happened? But I can hear it in his voice. His concern for Harry sounds genuine.
NYC Fire Department, is anyone hurt?
Peter, believing that Norman actually had no memory of the events that just took place, decided to strip Norman of his goblin attire and back into street clothes. Dragging Norman out of the burning building, Spider-Man tells the firefighters, "This man needs help!" Peter begins to swing away.
Wait, you can't just run away. Who is this guy? What happened to the Green Goblin?
That's Norman Osborn. He's a hero. The Green Goblin is dead. And he continues to swing off into the distance. We then cut to Spider-Man swinging above the Daily Bugle where he is currently employed. Jonah is in his office, looking at a close-up picture of Spider-Man punching Green Goblin in the face. Griffin, you want to do a little J. Jonah?
Yeah, Griffin, do JJ.
Hang on.
Yeah, put the cough drop.
Yeah, he's
It's
got to
rough on your throat.
He's got you ready. Also, you don't have to be too close to the mic because it'll start cutting out.
Yeah, I'll start cutting out if you go too loud.
Do you want me to be the narrator too?
Yeah, do you want to switch to narrating so it's more clear that who's Spider-Man and who's narrating?
Yeah, you can narrate an extra. That'd be good.
Yeah, okay. Just because I messaged, I didn't know if you guys saw it, but I messaged it because I was like, there should be separation between Peter and.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want me to just be JJ or what do you want?
You can do JJ and narrator, and then
All right.
Aiden will be Peter, and then I'll keep doing the Not extras, but the sides.
All right. And I'm Flash too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Spoiler.
So the goblin is really dead, huh? I'll believe it when I see it. And we're just supposed to take this masked maniac's word for it? We're supposed to believe. Oh my god. We're supposed to believe that the goblin is dead and Spider-Man had nothing to do with it?
Mr. Jameson, I can always take these photos elsewhere if you don't want them. I'm sure there's...
I never said anything about not wanting them, Parker. Kids these days don't know how to listen.
Okay. So if that's the case, let's talk about payment, sir.
You don't get any special treatment, Parker. You just get paid like every other freelance worker. 2 weeks after your voucher from that given Friday. How could I be any more fair? Peter and JJ leave his office out into the bullpen, still going back and forth about payment for those pictures. Shortly after leaving the office, they run into Joseph Robbie Robertson. He and Jonah discuss running the Green Goblin story as their front page, and Jonah wants the headline to be Spider-Man, Murderer. Norman is getting moved to Memorial Hospital, and Robbie suggests sending a photographer for a photo op. Peter offers to take the photos, and he swings off as Spider-Man.
J. Jonah Jameson. How could you not love the guy, right? I'm not fully sure why I decided to volunteer for this job. I mean, I know Harry, but I'm not particularly close with the guy. Maybe I just needed to make sure that when Norman wakes up, he's still Norman.
Peter arrives at the hospital that Norman is being cared for. Harry is at his bedside watching over his father.
Hey, Harry?
Peter Parker? What are you doing here?
I heard about what happened to your dad.
Oh. The doctor said that he almost didn't make it. He has no memories of what happened that night. Not even how he got there. I'm going to have to take care of him for a while now.
You'll work it out, Harry. Growing up without a dad, I can promise you that anything you have to do with is worth it.
Peter and Harry step out into the hallway.
Hey, so I should probably give you guys some space. Give your dad some time to rest.
I didn't realize, or I guess I forgot that you don't have
Parents? Yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to it by now. Plus my Aunt May is just about as close to a mom as... She's the best.
Hey man, I know we don't really hang out much, but thank you for coming here, Pete. It means a lot.
That's what friends are for, right?
Peter begins to walk away. Down the corridor, a door opens up and a small group of friends walk through. Two of them are Flash Thompson and Gwen Stacy. Gwen being Peter's past love, and Flash being Peter's past bully. Hey Harry, how's everything going? Wait, was that Parker?
Yeah, he stopped by to see how my dad's doing.
Why?
Lay off a bit, would you, Flash? Peter's a decent guy.
Gwen, you coming? While the rest walk into Norman's room, Gwen is stalling behind, watching Peter walk down the hall, smirking as she glances at him from down the hall.
And that's how it started. I looked back for just a second and saw you looking at me. That look almost turned me into a puddle. Yeah.
Back at home with Aunt May,
Whoa.
Peter is at the kitchen table eating a sandwich, while May is doing the dishes.
Who wants to do Aunt May? Griffin, I bet you got a
Fine.
killer Aunt May in you. No, Griffin, I bet you got a killer
God
Aunt
damn.
May in you. Let's do it.
You have a cough drop, dude. You can do it.
Yeah, dude.
Really, a motorcycle? I don't know, Peter. Those are quite dangerous.
Trust me, May, I'll be careful. But it doesn't really matter. I don't have the money for one anyway. And the store says they won't hold it for much longer.
Aunt May cuts Peter off as she reaches into her purse. She tells Peter about how Uncle Ben used to drive a motorcycle when they were younger. As she pulls out an envelope of some money that they saved up for Peter's first car, Peter thanks May and heads to Big Al's motorcycle shop. After months of coming into the shop looking at the same motorcycle, Al tells him,
Alright,
"Is that me?"
I can do Al.
Yeah.
Listen, kid. Motorcycles are like women. You never know which one you truly want until you take it out for a spin.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just that
Peter isn't sure why it's so hard for him to spend this much money. He is perfectly fine with risking his life against the Green Goblin, a massive rhino man, or even Doctor Doom. But spending the money is just so hard for him. It isn't until he looks out the window and sees Gwen Stacy walking by with Harry Osborn and Flash Thompson. Seeing Gwen smiling and laughing, and immediately afterwards he says to Al.
I'll take it.
Outside the shop, Flash Thompson is trying to get Gwen to go with them to the Silver Spoon. But Gwen just sighs. She says,
Can we find a new place to go to?
when suddenly, Peter flies right by them on his new shiny red motorcycle.
Yeah.
Hey, watch it, jerk! Peter stops to ask if anyone wants a ride. Everyone is impressed with Peter's new bike, except for Flash, who asks, "Are you sure you don't need any training wheels with that thing, Parker?" But Gwen looks far more interested with Peter than anything that Flash has to say.
Is it fast?
Not too fast.
Ooh. Gwen hops on the back of Peter's bike and they take off. Gwen hugging the waist of Peter with one arm and holding school books in the other arm. The side of her head pressed against his back, both of them smiling.
I like fast.
Gwen Stacy. All kinds of amazing.
Back at the Parker residence, there's a ring of the doorbell. Ding dong. You can only see the silhouette of a girl at Aunt May's front door. May explains to this woman that Peter isn't home right now, and that she's welcome to wait, but this Mr. Girl says that she has places to go and people to see. I'm sure Peter will be very sorry that he missed you.
Byron. You
Am
wanna
I
do
also
something?
okay?
Yeah, you want to be mystery girl?
May, you can bet on it.
Yeah. All right, there's chapter 1. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about it?
Feeling great. I
Yeah,
feel
Feeling
like,
great.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like we're thinking on our feet here. I think we're really
Yeah.
I feel
boiling this
I feel-
out. Pause.
I feel like Mystery Girl.
Dude!
Shouldn't maybe have that deep of a voice.
What are you talking about? She demands every room she's in.
Hey,
Hey,
get him,
Tiger.
Tiger. Get him, Tiger.
Oh yeah, Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, all good stuff.
Let's keep rocking and rolling.
Let's keep rocking and rolling.
Let's keep traveling.
All right. Chapter 2. Let's fall in love.
So where was I? I put the tape recorder down for just a second, and I've totally lost my train of thought. I honestly have no clue who's gonna listen to this story, our story, but I think this is a story that should be remembered. So here I am with this tape recorder that's so old it was probably my Uncle Ben's, talking to a girl that just like that thought I lost, I can't get it back again. People will stay with you as long as you remember them. I don't want to forget you, Gwen Stacy. Stay with me.
Back to a time before Gwen passed. Spider-Man is at a newsstand reading the latest published newspaper from the Daily Bugle. Front headline: Green Goblin dies in fire. And of course, Jonah finds a way to spin this and make Spider-Man out to be the bad guy. Written underneath those words, it states, Spider-Man flees police at the scene. Hey pal, this ain't no lending library. That's 2 bits for the paper.
With the amount of news stories I've made for that bonehead, you'd think I'd get a free subscription.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's 25 cents or I'm calling the cops. Spider-Man lowers down a quarter from a web, tells a man to keep the change and swings off. The man working the newsstand didn't find his joke all that funny, but didn't have much time to think about it before a man in the shadows stepped forward.
Byron, you want to do our
See
mystery
that
man?
paper?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
For 25 cents, you could have your very own, sir. The man aggressively grabs the newspaper out of the worker's hand, like a lion pouncing on its prey. Okay, man, just take it, all right? I'm just trying to make a living.
Quiet.
This mystery man reads the headline of the newspaper. His reaction to Green Goblin's death is strange, though. He only says,
The goblin is dead. Then that's a bad for me. And worse for Spider-Man.
You Mario? That's a bad for me.
That's a bad for me.
Yahoo, bitch.
We now go to a much less tense scene, where Peter and Gwen are working together for a project in chemistry class. We find out that Peter has been keeping a close eye on Norman, which means he's also spending more time with Harry. They've actually been forming a bit of a friendship because of that. Peter has also been able to spend more time with Gwen.
You like what you see?
Oof.
Oh, hi, Gwen. Smooth one, Parker.
The chemical reaction. Did you get the reaction you expected?
Honestly, Gwen, I didn't know what I was expecting. Just because I have spider sense doesn't mean I have common sense.
Peter and Gwen begin to talk a little while longer until Flash Thompson shows up and begins to pick on Peter. Peter begins to retaliate, but not for long. Their professor scolds Peter for talking in class, which ultimately leads to Peter leaving. Flash tries to get in some last-second wisecracks, and again, Gwen defends him. Peter gives Gwen one more look before leaving the room.
I remember being foolish enough to think, let's fall in love. It was silly, really. Impossible. Gwen Stacy interested in me?
Peter suits up and swings off. There's more important things going on in the courthouse. There are 2 police officers looking at the Rhino in an airtight container. The Rhino is passed out on the floor and being sedated by some sort of gas that is being filtered into the room. Meanwhile, a couple of cops are talking as they stare at Rhino's unconscious body. They let this thing in the courthouse? Can you believe that?
Everyone's got their day. I heard they don't know how to get this suit off. So he goes as he goes.
I hate to think of what would happen if he wakes up.
Actually, one of those
Suddenly-
cops was a woman.
Cop 2.
Not my cup.
It doesn't say genders on the list. We have it written
Yeah.
cop 1 and 2.
Nah, I was just hoping one of you guys would be progressive, you know?
Listen,
No, they're twin brothers and they're also plumbers on the side.
Yeah.
Dude.
suddenly, squash! Our mystery man from earlier sneaks up behind the cops and cracks their heads together, knocking them out cold. He then breaks the seal of the room, allowing the gas that's been keeping the Rhino sedated to seep out. Rhino begins to awake.
Nice.
You killed
Back-
that.
Back to
It was exactly
Back
what
to
I had in mind.
Yeah. It was an executive
to-
decision.
back to Spider-Man, who's swinging over the Daily Bugle.
Now that I'm thinking about it, how am I supposed to actually take Gwen on a date? I mean, like, how would I pay for it? One problem at a time. I don't know why I said it like that. One problem at a
Oh, that's
time.
weird.
Yeah, that was weird. One problem at a time. Now I get to go have another go around with Jolly Jonah.
Inside the Bugle, we see Peter and Jonah bickering, per usual. What is it with you and money, Parker? I paid you just last week.
Yeah, sure, you paid me last week. That was for last week's pictures. What about this week's pictures? I just need an advance, Jonah. I don't need my Aunt May worrying about bills.
Look, kid, I had an aunt too. She worried about bills as well.
Really? What happened to her?
She died! Jonah
You
goes
guys
back
both
into
tried to
his
slam your
office and
desk.
slams the door right in Peter's face. Robbie comes by to comfort Peter and remind him that Jonah's heart is in the right place. He gives Peter a tip about the Rhino tearing up. What?
No,
Yeah, what
keep
the
going,
fuck,
keep going,
dude?
keep going. No, keep going.
What was that?
He then gives Peter a tip about the Rhino tearing up Midtown and suggests that they need some pictures.
No, I was gonna say you guys both went to slam your table when Jonah slams his door, and it cut out
Yeah.
both. It cut out. Both.
Yeah, I know. That was some bullshit. I know.
Dude, I hit my
saw
table
the
fucking
green-
hard.
I saw my green box go away immediately.
Real quick for Rhino, are we
Yeah.
wanting Russian?
Dude,
I-
hey, you took the voice. It's whatever
Yeah.
you're feeling.
I want your
You
interpretation.
go for it. Yeah.
All right.
You could
'Cause
do.
I can't do a
Polish
good
Rhino
Russian.
if you want. I don't know.
You could do whatever
I
you
don't
want,
even
man.
know what that. No, that's not gonna be
You
it.
could do. No, that could be a Rhino. Yeah, think
That was really
think
good.
about that one. All right,
All right.
and that's the story of my life. I want to go on a date. I need money to go on a date. I can only get money when I take pictures of Rhino beating the tar out of me.
Rhino standing in the ruins of a building that he has just finished destroying.
I want Spider-Man!
Really good.
Yeah, it was really good. Any way I do the math, it's worth it.
Spider-Man swings in, kicking Rhino right in the chops. I know that's not what it says, sorry.
No, that's good. No, I
No,
like
it's
it. I like
great.
it.
Ah! Peter
Gets
making
clobbered in the
jokes
nuts.
while-
He's got clobbered.
Peter,
Right in the
per
chops.
usual, making jokes while beating the Rhino's ass. But up above, this mysterious man continues to make an appearance, watching over the fight between the Spider and the Rhino. Spider-Man continuing to evade every bit of offense that Rhino has to offer until BAM!
This hide is what makes me the Rhino. This hide is what's gonna kill you.
The Rhino swats Spider-Man like the bug he is out of the air with a clobbering right hook. Luckily, Spider-Man isn't down for the count. He launches webs at Rhino's face while Rhino is charging straight after him. Now blinded, Spider-Man has a small window where he can leap over the Rhino and avoid that horn.
I gotta hand it to you, Rhino.
Rhino goes headfirst through a wall.
You really know how to bring the house down.
The whole building collapses on top of the horn. Just in time for the police to arrive. Hang on, can I restart that?
No,
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
absolutely not.
The
You
whole
gotta
building
take it.
collapses. The whole building collapses around the hard-hided horned criminal.
Nice.
Oh shit! Hang on.
I don't know, you got it.
Hard-hided. Wait, no. Hard.
It's not like you have places to be. No, you're good.
Horned criminal. Just in time for the police to arrive. The police commend Spider-Man for his bravery, but Spider-Man doesn't have much time to relish in the feeling. He finds something mysterious atop the rubble. He finds what he believes to be a piece of the Rhino's hide. He's not too sure. He decides to take this thing to Dr. Kirk Connors, one of Peter's old professors.
I love it because the thing Griffin was struggling to say, it's not even typed.
No, that was
I know, I was
just.
trying to come up with it.
Yeah.
I love it. I was like, I was so confused. I was like, where the fuck are we at?
Like, am I on the right page?
I was like hided horned criminal. I was like,
You're doing like Control F looking it up.
yeah. I was like, what the? I was like, shit.
All right. So, Doc, what do you think it is?
It's pretty. How about this?
It's pretty sophisticated manipulation of actual rhinoceros DNA, mixed with something similar to Kevlar or adamantium. This is the same type of genetic manipulation that brought about my own problems.
I love it. I love the Doc on it.
For the uninformed, Dr. Connors is also the lizard. Though he has sworn off the kind of research that once turned him into that monster, Spider-Man points out a picture of the Connors family and asks how they are, only to learn that Connors hasn't seen them since the first incident as the lizard. But it isn't all bad for Dr. Connors. He's actually expecting to see them again next week, so Peter warns.
Doc, in order to help me, you'll need to come in contact with the same chemicals.
That may or may not turn me into the lizard. You said people's lives are at stake as long as the rhino runs free.
Sure, but
Then I'd say it's worth it, wouldn't you?
The next day, Rhino is back to his regularly scheduled program of destroying as much of New York as possible before being stopped.
You can't run from me, Spider-Man! I'll find you if I have to bring the whole city down!
And to no one's surprise, Spider-Man shows up and starts webbing up the Rhino. But Spidey's webs look a little different this time around. They're more orange than white. Regardless, Rhino pushes Spider-Man right into a fire hydrant, which spews water all over the Rhino. His suit starts to melt away, which highly confuses the Brute.
Yeah! What's happening to me?
Spider-Man... Spider-Man briefly and vaguely lets the Rhino know about the special component that he has in his webbing. That a friend had... I don't know why I'm trying this shit. Spider-Man briefly and vaguely lets the Rhino know about the special webbing that he and a friend had made. And then whoops the ever-living shit out of the Rhino. While of course making fun of him. But things aren't always so easy for good old Spidey. This mystery man continues to watch his every move from the shadows. Back at home, Peter's going to have a study session with Gwen. He's so excited to just spend some time with her that he's rushing out the door in a suit, quickly saying goodbye to Aunt May. But right before he gives May a kiss on the forehead, the doorbell rings and Peter is in for a big surprise. I can't believe you took so much time to get ready, all just to get ready to meet Mary Jane Watson.
I did?
Peter, you're too funny. May reaches her hand out and opens the front door. Peter, this is Mary Jane Watson. Peter figured it wouldn't take long to introduce himself to MJ and then go about his study session. At this point, he knew nothing about her. It wasn't until that front door opened and Peter realized that MJ wasn't just some girl.
You're Mary Jane Watson?
He said, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot.
Griffin, I like how your MJ, or how your Aunt May got younger by like 20 years.
Griffin had to read so fucking much. I started dying because I saw Rhino narrator, and then at the bottom I saw May, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, just a Rhino narrator, Aunt May. It just keeps going. Well, that's the
Every
end
single
of chapter
person he
2.
voices.
Yep.
I like the character development because I feel like if I didn't know who these characters were, I think I know them well enough already. Or it's like good introductions. I like them a lot. I like the characters bouncing off each other.
Yeah, it's a cool, like, brief, modernized retelling of certain, I guess, original Spider-Man events in terms of, like, meeting MJ and all that. It's
There's
just...
a good sense of Peter feels he has a responsibility to not only make money to help May, and also anyone who needs help, without kind of like the whole great power, great responsibility thing.
It's very. This story's very humanizing.
Yeah.
Of everyone.
It's great.
Where it's like it's day-to-day things.
Yeah.
And very, very hard for someone trying to voice act it. I gotta say.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rhino gets very humanized in this one.
Yeah, I also love it because every time Griffin records the Rhino, he holds his mic as far as he can away from him so he can scream as loud as he can.
Yeah, I was thinking about leaving, like walking away from the computer and like going across the room.
Taking like 5 seconds to set up a yell.
Yeah.
Spider-Man!
That sounded weird, but it didn't sound as good as when Griffin does it, I'll tell you that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm not the Rhino.
I do like the different villain every chapter. Where like the first one.
Oh, I love it. It's
Green
like
Goblin.
It's littered with like famous.
Like, you get Green
Goblin.
Goblin.
His entire rogues is there pretty much.
Oh yeah,
I haven't read this. I want Scorpion. I want to do Scorpion.
I got bad news.
Why do you want to do Scorpion?
I got bad news.
Is he the only one who's not in it?
I think he's the only one who's not in it. From what I remember, I think there's a single panel where there's like a picture on the wall of them fighting.
Damn.
I think.
Is Hobgoblin in this?
Hobgoblin, he's meeting MJ for the first time.
You're right.
I guess.
So this is like
the 70s. Did Hobgoblin come around when Gwen was still alive?
I feel like Hobgoblin was.
No, that was definitely.
He was more like Clone Saga, wasn't he? He was in the 80s.
Yeah, he was.
I thought Hobgoblin was kind of early because they were just kind of just doing shit to see like what stuck.
Well, I think the whole thing of Green Goblin killing Gwen, that was...
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was before... Yeah, I think that was way before Hobgoblin. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
What about like this so far? How do you like my MJ voice?
Dude, I love your MJ voice. It's very true to the character.
You should...
Face it, Tiger.
It's sexy. I like it.
Yeah.
You just hit the jackpot.
Yeah, dude. That's great.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, see anything you like.
All right, chapter 3. Anything goes.
Super pumped. By the way, there's 6 chapters.
Okay.
Very nice.
We're halfway.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get that. I just wanted to clear that up. You know, we're 3 of 6.
Yeah. All right. Oh, there we go. I can spin webs any size. You'd think I should be able to work this machine. Which he's recording all this, by the way. That's the machine.
Yeah, everything we're reading is like flashbacks. He's like making a voice He's like recording himself talking to Gwen.
Yeah, it's like a whole voice memo of what he would be telling her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you're wondering, what kind of idiot would talk to one beautiful woman about another beautiful woman? Well, that idiot would be me, Peter Parker.
See anything you like?
Because you really can't tell the story of how Gwen Stacy and I fell in love without talking about you, Mary Jane Watson.
We're now at the Silver Spoon restaurant that Flash loves so much. Speaking of Flash, he's currently trying as hard as he can to impress MJ. Well, she picks a new song at the jukebox, but MJ is shooting down every attempt of flirting that Flash is making. Meanwhile, Flash's friends are sitting at a table across the restaurant, gawking over MJ's beauty. Hey, don't you know who I am?
You're Flash Thompson, BMOC.
What?
Been cut out.
Well, what is BMOC?
I
don't know.
I have no idea.
That's what she says, though. It's what she says.
Hope to God it's not offensive.
I think it's a like high school. I think it's like a
What?
football thing.
Is
Okay.
Why don't you just look up BMOC?
BMOC.
Base
Oh, Big Man on
Operational
Campus.
Medicine Clinic.
No, Big Man on
It's
Campus.
Base Optional Medicine Clinic.
Oh, Big Man on
Big Man on Campus. Yeah.
You want me to redo the MJ line?
I would love
Yeah.
it.
Can we do it again? All right.
Yeah.
You're Flash Thompson, BMOC, big man on campus.
Well, yeah, and
You're Flash Thompson, BMOC.
huh?
MJ walks over to the table where Flash's friends are sitting.
Hello, Harry.
Have we met?
Oh, come on. Everybody's wild about you.
They are?
And I can see why.
Why?
You're gonna eat all those fries?
I like how MJ's a trucker.
She just sounds like a fucking fat hog.
I'm so happy I have such a different voice for her, though.
Yeah,
For
I'm
that
glad.
interaction, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, it's hilarious every single time.
Yeah.
Alright. Now look, I don't want anyone to think I brought MJ along just to show her off or anything like that. It's more like an obligation, okay? Because she's the niece of my aunt's best friend, so I don't really have much of a choice, right?
MJ leans past Harry to talk to Gwen. She's about to say,
And you must be.
before Peter rushes in, cutting her off.
MJ? Sorry I was late, but it seems like you found the place just fine.
Hello, Petey. Have a french fry. I was just getting to know the gang.
Really? Well then, I guess I don't have to introduce you to.
Gwen answers Peter's question before he can even finish asking it.
She's quite the girl, Petey. Where have you been keeping her?
Peter, looking like a deer in headlights, awkwardly replies.
Hi, Gwen.
MJ, holding on to Peter, says to Gwen.
This is some setup, girl. Love the guy to gal ratio. My kind of place.
It's like mostly dudes in there. I think it's just her and Gwen.
Yeah,
are
I think
the only
it's-
girls.
MJ, Gwen, and then it's just a bunch of like varsity dudes.
Yeah,
And Harry.
Yeah.
MJ drags Peter away from the group and asks him to buy her a cup of tea. Peter agrees, and they sit by the counter as the rest of the group talks about the new girl that Peter just brought around. I don't get it.
What's there to get?
Parker knows that girl?
Looks to be the case.
I don't get it.
Wake up, Flash. What you know about Peter Parker couldn't fill a thimble.
Still don't get it.
I love that Flash is a fucking dumbass.
He's just stupid.
Yeah.
I also think it's funny because like everyone's enamored by how hot she is, but with the voice, it just seems like she's an absolute freak.
It's a powerful woman.
She's a powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I mean, there's some women that are hot as hell, and they'll be like,
My name's Miranda.
Dude, tell me one.
Miranda from Mormon Housewives or Mormon Lives or whatever. Deep
The
ass
Lives of
voice.
Mormon Wives.
Yeah, she has a deep ass
Something like
voice.
that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Peter and MJ have a very brief talk about Gwen. MJ saying that she's gorgeous, but only if you have that sort of if you like that sort of blonde, gorgeous look. But Peter doesn't have much time to continue the conversation before the attention is taken by what's on the TV. He looks up to a live news broadcast of the lizard. Of course, Peter is going to have to leave, but MJ wants to come with him. The thought of getting pictures of a rampaging giant lizard excites her, so they head out the door.
So long, boys and girls. Catch you later.
Bye, Gwen.
Bye, Peter.
So, Parker knows her, and so they head out. MJ on the back of Peter's motorcycle, and MJ couldn't be more excited.
Come on, Pito. Can't this thing move any faster?
Well, this is complicated. I was just starting to get you to notice me, Gwen, and I had to go and bring in the O girl. I don't know what that means. What's the O girl? You know?
I think it's like oh.
I'm so glad you explained that for me. It makes sense now.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
play it.
like,
yeah,
that's
no,
a
no,
girl
I,
right there.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it now.
It's like you're standing on the side and you're like, that's a woman.
Dude, you're a genius.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was just starting to get you to notice me, Glenn, and I had to go and bring in the O girl, Mary Jane Watson. With her, anything goes.
They get to the crime scene, and MJ immediately takes charge. She walks up to the police officer who is guarding yellow tape and starts to distract him. The cops fall for it, which gives Peter a small window to slip by undetected and into the subway station where the lizard was spotted.
It was right about then when I realized that even though MJ distracted the cops so I could get through, MJ was always going to be the center of attention. And I'm not too sure how I feel about it yet, but what do I do when faced with the tough personal issues? I go web swinging.
Peter sees two people in the torn apart subway station and assumes they are just some unlucky New Yorkers who got caught up in the mess. It wasn't until he got a little closer and realized those aren't just some random people. They were Dr. Connor's wife and son. They're both scared for Dr. Connors, understandably so. Mrs. Connors doesn't know if her husband has turned into the lizard or not, but Spider-Man reassures them everything will be okay. Although Peter is not so sure if he believes himself.
So you're telling me there's a lizard rampaging through the city, and the wife's like, it could be him.
Could be anybody.
Well, they don't know. Yeah, it could be anyone.
Could be anybody, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at. He won't answer my calls, but there's a lizard going apeshit in New York.
You know, it could be any number of green Spider-Man villains.
Yeah,
You're right.
There's a couple.
He's a good one.
Right.
Give me 3 that aren't green right now, Byron.
Hobgoblin, Carnage, Venom.
Nice, dude.
Boom.
I could do
You
more.
know,
Can we continue?
Molten
keep
Man,
going?
Molten Man, Hydro Man.
Tombstone.
Shocker.
Joker,
Good job.
Two-Face.
Joker's green, so
All
that
right.
doesn't even he's got green in him, dude. That doesn't even count.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter if he
All
was
right.
a Spider-Man villain.
Peter.
All right, Peter.
Fighter.
You know, it's amazing to me that even with Dr. Connors' whole crazy lizard thing he's got going on, Miss Connors has always stuck by him. It's inspiring, really. I had hoped to have that with you someday, Gwen.
Spider-Man tells Dr. Connor's family to stay above ground as he travels into the subway.
Here, lizard, lizard, lizard. Come here, Liz. Spider sense. I could kiss you.
Spider-Man.
The lizard rushes at Spider-Man, but he intercepts the lizard with a hammer of a left hook to the dome. Wham! But it hardly affects the lizard, who grabs Spidey by the neck and slams him against the wall.
Yeah.
You always talk too much.
Well, sorry. I was just making a little conversation before I kick your...
Spider-Man smashes the bridge of his nose, bonk, which proved to be just about as effective as the last punch he threw. The lizard spun around and whacked Spider-Man with his tail, sending Spidey flying back.
Ugh.
The lizard attempts to take out the both of them, by holding Peter directly in front of an oncoming train, which nearly worked if Spider-Man hadn't launched them both towards the ceiling at the last second. Each of them now on the opposite sides of the train. While separated, a familiar, mysterious voice speaks to the lizard from the shadows.
Come with me. I can lead you to safety.
Christ.
Is he African now? Come with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come with
This
me.
got dark. The lizard is confused on why this man would want to help him, so he explains.
We want the same thing. The death of Spider-Man.
That's not what I want. You have no idea what I want. I will follow you out of here, but if you or Spider-Man interfere in my plans, then I won't hesitate to kill you both.
So we shall see.
The train passes by. Spider-Man is ready to resume the action until he realizes.
Gone. Just wonderful.
With no trail to follow, Peter switches back into civilian clothes to meet up with MJ. He lets her know that he got some great pictures, and MJ comments on his bruised forehead. He tries to come up with an excuse, but she just kisses his bruise, and Peter tells her.
Ooh!
Oh! If I knew I was working on the reward system, I might have thrown myself in front of the whole train.
Whatever makes a guy happy.
My guy? She called me her guy?
Oh fuck, I didn't say my guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. She says whatever
Whatever.
makes my guy happy.
Whatever makes my guy happy.
My guy? She called me her guy? You've got to understand, Gwen, that when a girl like MJ says something like that to a guy, they take it a certain way. Where was I?
Peter lets MJ know that he'd love to stick around, but he's got to take those pictures to the Bugle.
Go. Do what he calls.
Do you need a ride?
No need, Tiger. I'm sure you'll find out soon enough. Where MJ goes, the party follows.
Dude, she
Peter
sucks.
changes back into his spider suit and takes off.
So much for my guy.
There's no time to dwell on that, however. The lizard is still on the move, and Spider-Man knows just where to look. He figures that Connors is going to be looking for more of the chemicals that turn him into the lizard. So Peters heads straight for Dr. Connors' private laboratory. And it seems like he made the right choice. One of the windows to his lab is broken.
No. All these scribbles and formulas are meaningless. It's Connors. I want Connors.
Spider-Man enters the building, but this time he plays it a little smarter. Before bull rushing the lizard head on. He loosens a canister of liquid nitrogen first. He then jumps into the action and begins fighting. But he is trying to stall him more than beat him. He's allowing the temperature in the room to drop drastically. Now that the lizard is being affected by the nitrogen, Spidey webs him up and looks for the cure to revert him back to Connors.
Hello? Is anyone in there? Spider-Man?
Dad?
Is that
Dad?
you?
Shit, sorry.
No, dude.
How many times Mummy.
Yeah. Dad? Dr. Connor's family is at the door to his lab, about to enter. Spider-Man, not wanting Connor's wife and son to see him like this again, quickly assembles a cure for him. If the Connors family sees him like this, he may never see them again.
I'm coming in!
Mrs. Connors slowly turns the key, unlocking the door, and opens it to see her husband. Back to normal.
Oh, my bad. That's me. Hey there, true believers.
He said the
Dad!
He said the thing.
Kurt! Hi.
Hello there.
Hello there, nice to see you.
Kurt embraces his family, everyone happy and relieved to see that he's okay. Peter, trying to cover for Connors, says,
Sorry the place is such a mess. We were, working on a project that went a little out of control. No one's really listening to me, are they?
Spider-Man heads towards the broken window.
Okay, well, this is me leaving. Bye.
There goes a true hero.
Back to the Parker residence, Peter pulls up to the front of his house on his motorcycle. To his surprise, he sees Harry sitting on the front steps waiting for Peter to get home.
Harry? Is everything okay? Did something happen with your dad?
What? No, my dad's fine. I mean, he's still in the hospital, but he's getting better. That's only part of why I came here. Your aunt said I could wait here. She seems really nice.
Harry, what does your father's condition have to do with me?
Kind of out of the blue.
Kinda
question.
cold.
Yeah,
It's kinda
what the
cold.
fuck was that? Just
Yeah.
ignore everything I just said.
Yeah.
It's really no big deal, actually. It might turn out to be the best thing to ever happen to you.
Me?
Well, since my dad's in the hospital, cha-ching, one of his apartments is empty. So I thought maybe you'd want to be roommates with me.
Roommates? That's nice, but I can't afford...
No worries, my friend. My dad owns the place, so we'll be living there rent-free, my dude.
I couldn't believe it. My own place? For free?
Peter agrees, but Harry has one question for him.
Where do you stand with Mary Jane?
Oh, MJ? We're just friends, why?
I'm thinking of asking her out. And if you had something going on with her, I wouldn't want to go in that way. Or get in the way.
Oh, no, I mean... So, about the apartment?
Peter quickly changes the subject, and Aunt May yells from inside the house. Peter, come inside for dinner before it gets cold, sweetie. Peter!
And that's the end of chapter 3.
I really like Harry and Peter's relationship. It's fun. Like, they
Yeah, it
actually
is
feel
fun.
like friends.
Yeah,
I like how
they're getting there.
Yeah.
Peter
Ignore.
is a bitch. No, I don't know. That question was just out of the fucking blue.
Yeah.
Like,
Just found out you're going to be living for
honestly, if I was Harry, I'd be like,
Okay.
"This isn't about you, man."
Yeah.
Stop talking
It is-
about my dad.
It is so shitty, though, to where, like... I mean, just the other day, his dad's in the hospital, and Peter goes and visits him on day 1 to be like, hey, just checking on things, like, how's it going? And then a couple days later,
And
he's
then
like...
proceeds to take pictures of him.
Yeah, and then a couple days later, he's like, the fuck
Yeah.
does your dad's condition have to do with me?
Yeah.
He's like, how's that my
Fucking
problem?
loser. I'm
Yeah.
just doing this for money.
Yeah. Oh, is your dad in the hospital? I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Go
That's
back,
what it-
go take your waves that you have for some reason because you're white, and get out of here.
Yeah, no, it's great, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
No, I
that
do like how they
racially
slowly become
insensitive?
closer. Is it what?
Was that
What you just said.
Nah,
It is weird though because they have waves and they're like that's like a whole thing that
Hey,
Norman
no,
and,
back-
Norman and
you can't
Harry have
backtrack.
hair like that.
You
Whatever.
can't backtrack now. You said it.
Whatever. I voted for.
no, it's cool. You're racist. We'll get it,
All right.
No, but something I like,
Oh.
I love Harry and Peter's relationship, and I like how we're starting to see that more in like Spider-Man like shows and movies because that wasn't like
Yeah.
it hasn't been a thing in a while. So like I really liked the new Spider-Man show. I like they feel like friends, like this.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least from my memory, which obviously I haven't read all the Spider-Man comics or everything. I know or like seen all. Well, I've probably seen all Spider-Man shows, but I feel like the '90s Spider-Man show, where it's like radioactive spider. You know that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
the
feel like
series.
so. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like Spider-Man the animated series or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that show really, really does the relationship of Harry and Peter very well.
Yeah.
I like when the
Where it
relationship
shows like, yeah, like I like how it shows, like, how Peter does have a concern for Norman. Like he wants him to get better.
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of says it too, but there's also that underlying thing. Well,
Is this fucker still is he lying to me?
Yeah. He's still like, he's having a hard time believing it. I don't think he even
Yeah.
like really wants to believe. I think he just wants to stay pissed at Norman.
I think
Yeah.
for Harry's sake, he wants to believe that his dad is better. I think that's what makes
Yeah.
it really
but
good.
so at the same time, is Peter just
Wanting to get closer to Harry to keep a better eye on his dad.
I think it started that way.
That's how it starts.
starts that way, and then it leads into him caring for him.
That's
It is
fucked up.
Yeah,
It is
no,
fucked up.
and then it
but
ends with
it-
him getting a free apartment.
A free apartment. He's like,
Penthouse in Manhattan.
Yeah, and it's like a nice place too. Like it looks
Yeah.
nice as hell.
yeah. Harry's like, he walks up to Peter like, man, I'm just having a real rough day. He's like, dude, what are you even talking about? What does your dad's condition have to do with me? Like, are you serious right now?
What a crazy question. You see this dude that looks like he's just sitting on your porch at night with his dad in
Waiting.
the hospital, and you're like, "The fuck does your dad's
He's
condition
waiting to
have
tell
to
you
do with me?"
this dope ass, like, this cool news. And he walks up.
And then Harry's like, "What's up with that baddie over there?"
Yeah.
yeah, dude. He
Peter
wants to
just
spit
made it
game
about
at Mary
himself.
Jane.
Yeah.
Yep.
all right? Chapter 4: Autumn in New York.
Yep. So today I want to talk about Aunt May. I'm sorry, Glenn, but whenever I think of Aunt May, I can't help but see someone who is just so frail yet so strong. But when I looked at you, Glenn, you were never frail. I never ever thought I would be burying you before May. It's just not how I thought. It's just not how things are supposed to work.
Back at home, Peter and Aunt May are silently having breakfast together before they simultaneously say,
There's something
"There's
I have
something
to
I
ask
have
you.
to ask you." Peter lets May
Nailed
go
it.
first. She asks if he'd be okay with her and Anna Watson moving in together. She explains that with Peter going to college, May has been getting lonely. This works out perfectly with Peter wanting to move in with Harry.
My life has never worked out the way it's supposed to. Bad before good. That's how it's always kind of been. And after losing you, Glenn, was beyond bad. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I think Uncle Ben would understand how I could say that.
Peter's right. Peter's right with him. There is always bad before good in New York's prison. Oh shit, sorry. I forgot that period. There's always bad before good. In New York's prison, we see an old Adrian Toombs, the vulture, having a heart attack in the cafeteria. One of the inmates sitting next to Toombs shouts for help. He then grabs Toombs and whispers,
Who wants to do that? Mate?
Griffin, you could be the inmate.
"I want to be vulture."
Nah, I got it.
Alright.
No, actually, I want Byron
Listen
to
to-
be the inmate. I want Byron to be the inmate.
Fuck.
Yeah, do it, dude, please.
Listen to me, Vulture. You having some kind of heart attack? Oh, my bad. Listen to me, Vulture. Listen to me, Vulture. You having some kind of heart attack? If you were going to tell me, now's the time.
I like how this inmate in a prison, who's
Is
probably not the smartest guy, is like, "Listen, this is what's happening. I now have a doctorate.
He's like, hey, you listen to me now.
And also, what the fuck? You didn't warn me?"
No, he's got his reasons. He's asking him about something specific.
Vulture gathers all his strength to whisper back. Is that me?
Yep.
Yes.
Doctor.
Tell me.
I don't want to. Hey, Aiden,
Yes,
you.
the whisper.
no, Griffin's the guy. No, Griffin, you're the
You're the
extras, dude.
cop.
You're the extras, Griffin.
Yeah, you're the cop. You've done every single cop.
You're the cop. Let it rip, dude. Do the line.
I just realized what he says.
Step aside, buddy. We'll handle it
Wait,
from
no,
here.
yo,
Hey.
back up
Going to
online.
get a
You
second
gotta cut
warning.
out.
No, you gotta restart.
You gotta restart. You got.
Step aside, buddy.
We'll handle it
No,
from here.
that's not
Oh,
his
You're
name.
not
that's what
going
he
to
says.
get
He
a
says
second
his
warning.
name. He
Step
says his
aside.
name. He says his name.
That's his
You're
name. You
making
gotta
it
say his
weird.
name.
All right. Step aside, Blackie. We'll handle it from here. You're not going to get a second warning. Step aside.
You're also
Do you know the old mill bridge?
Yeah.
Toombs, losing steam, hardly gets out one more sentence. Left a spare set of wings. Half a mile out. Under the bridge. South side.
I love that he's having a heart attack.
Yeah,
Like, in
yeah.
this moment.
yeah.
I'm sure he loves it too.
He's got
And-
Blackie whispering in his ear.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Black is over here like, tell me. He's like holding a bike. Tell me.
Come on, Toombs.
Hey,
The
Toombs,
cops
baby,
pull-
I know you're suffering right now, but I need to know where those wings are.
Yeah. The cops pull Blackie away from Toombs as Toombs collapses onto the floor. We switch over to May and Peter. As they are going to visit the Watsons, Peter sparks up a small conversation with MJ before Harry pulls up in his car to pick MJ up. Peter is starting to regret telling Harry that he had no interest in Mary Jane, and Aunt May tells Anna Watson, "You know, Anna, I never cared much for that Osborne boy." Blackie has made his great escape from prison and works his way to the bridge that Vulture told him about. After a bit of searching, he finds the Vulture suit that he was looking for, but just in time for the police to show up. "Please, nobody move!" Again, our mystery man makes another appearance. He's on top of the shed that Blackie was searching by. This mystery man tells Blackie,
Don't forget our deal, Blackie, or I will hunt you down faster than anyone else will.
Nice.
"Don't make us shoot!"
Yes, shoot. While you can.
Their mystery man jumps away, narrowly evading the cops' bullets. Back with Spidey, he's swinging by his new apartment and sees Harry throwing a party inside. MJ, Flash, and Gwen are all there playing pool. Flash sees Spider-Man through the window and begins to express how cool he thinks Spidey is. Nobody else saw him, and Gwen commented,
Too bad Peter's not here, Flash. I'm sure he'd like to see you whittle Spider-Man too.
Harry begins to play some music, and MJ and Gwen start dancing around the apartment. Flash is more interested in looking out the window for Spider-Man, though Peter is trying to get to his new apartment before a wing cuts one of his webs mid-swing.
Okay, that does it. Nobody cuts one of my web lines and gets away with it.
But before he can figure out who the culprit is, he gets hit again, this time more directly. He gets smacked across the face with a giant wing. Then again. And again. And again. But Peter was caught completely off guard, thinking about the two beautiful girls in his apartment right now. Peter gets a brief moment to recollect himself and see that it's Blackie Drago in Vulture's suit. Spider-Man begins to compare Blackie to Toombs, and Blackie says, "What a name,
fast.
Blackie Drago."
Yeah, dude.
I'm faster, smarter, stronger than that old crow ever was.
He
Why
thinks
is
he
he
needs to
still
be
whispering?
Spidey.
What?
Why is
Blackie
he
don't
still
talk full.
whispering?
Blackie does not talk full volume.
Hey, you corrected me to whisper, and it's only whispers now.
Uh,
Okay.
He then continues to beat Spidey pillar to post, dragging his ass across the block until he is satisfied. He assumes that he has killed the spider and leaves.
I didn't think about it when I wrote it, dragging his ass around till he's satisfied.
It's so stupid.
I won. Spider-Man is dead.
Those are exclamation points. And he flies off.
Okay, fine.
As stupid as this may
Yeah,
sound, Gwen, lying there with the snow on me, left in the cold, hard rooftop, about to black out, all I could think of was letting the gang down, and what I would say if I didn't show up. And that is the end of chapter 4.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, dude,
I love
we
this.
get-
I love the world building.
Yeah, so we got another villain in here. We got the Vultures, which is cool.
Vulture too.
And also, we've got our mystery man who's kind of like involved with every villain we've seen so far in some way.
hmm
He keeps showing up and
He's like
Doing-
recruiting them.
yeah, basically
He's like
he's
Nick
got
Fury.
Yeah, dude, he's just like Nick Fury.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
I like
I
this
like
little
that.
chapter.
Yeah. Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. If I had you.
Sorry, I had to get some new batteries for this thing. I guess I didn't realize how long I've been talking to you, Glenn. But maybe that's the thing with love stories. You can't tell them too fast. I wouldn't know, though. I guess I've never told one.
Peter is able to muster up the strength to peel himself off that rooftop and head back to his apartment, only to see Harry at the door, who says,
Jeez, Peter, you look like fucking shit.
Thanks, Harry. I love you too.
Peter walks into his new apartment. Harry lets him know that he missed the party. After a short bit of lying from Peter to cover up why he was missing, he gets acclimated with his bedroom, collapses into bed, and says,
Hey, Harry. Nice apartment.
Yeah, welcome home, roommate.
Back on top of the rooftop, where Peter was left for dead, the mysterious man is looking down at the snow print that Peter's body left behind. Seeing that Spider-Man is still alive, the mysterious man visits Adrian Toombs in the hospital.
Look at you. That creature, such as yourself, should be free to fly. Not pinned into some hospital bed. Vulture.
Come into the light.
Blackie Drago has not fulfilled his promise. Spider-Man lives, although Drago boasts otherwise.
Vulture says that he is going to die, but this mysterious man explains that Toombs was poisoned by Drago. The mysterious man then tells Toombs,
If you were to live, would you succeed where Drago has failed?
yes, anything. So he loads a dart into a tube and shoots it at Toombs, seemingly
Cool.
curing him of his poison. We now circle back to Peter's apartment. There was a better way to do that, but
No, he's got it
Yeah, I
on
know.
deck, dude.
Just
yeah,
He should have. He's like, look, you're dying. If you could kill
there's probably an
Spider-Man...
IV in him.
Nah, dude.
yeah. Also,
Just-
I mean, how old is Toombs? He's like 60, probably.
Dude,
I thought he was
in his
Probably-
50s.
Probably past that. He looks old as fucking
Yeah, he
shit.
just, even though it, I mean, I know it's the antidote, but he
I'd
just
say
got
60s.
he's got hit with something with so much force for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the dart's not too bad. It's just a little dart, you know?
It's still.
Yeah, no, he's still getting hit
When
by
you
a
just
dart.
got poisoned, it probably is like, fuck.
I just
Yeah.
really like when he first shows up and just starts talking, and Vulture's like, "Who? he's what's happening?" He's just beyond confused. All right, where do we leave off?
Peter inner monologue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter in a monologue. I think I slept in for 2 days. My fever is still raging, so maybe the next event didn't actually happen. Maybe the next events didn't actually happen. But this is how I'd like to remember it.
Peter's lying in bed, covering his eyes with his forearm, when he smells something familiar.
Who? Chicken soup. Aunt May, is that you?
Aunt May.
Not Aunt May, but instead it was MJ.
Looks like I just got here in time. The fever's going to your brain if you don't recognize your very own Mary Jane Watson.
MJ?
MJ crawls into bed with Peter and starts feeding him soup and flirting with him. And just when Peter thought it couldn't get any better, in comes Gwen Stacy and says,
I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
and all Peter can say is,
Wow.
MJ, with a hit of jealousy, looks over her shoulder at Gwen and says,
Now, Pito, remember you're sick. Whatever fever makes you say things you probably don't mean.
No, I meant wow.
Gwen thought it would be nice to give Peter some company and read him a book. She thought Huck Finn would be a good choice, which coincidentally happens to be the book that Uncle Ben used to read Peter when he was sick. The two girls become passive-aggressive towards each other, competing over Peter's attention. But as Peter is used to, good moments never last long, as the vulture comes swooping by his window. So Peter has to ruin the moment.
I should get some rest.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, basically.
Both Gwen and MJ, looking very unamused, leave the room.
Sure, Peter.
Later, Pedo.
They leave the room and slam the door shut. When they get downstairs, they tell Flash and Harry that they want to leave now. Both boys shrug and head out the door. Upstairs, Peter's looking out of his window at Adrian Toombs and Blackie Drago fight each other, both wearing vulture costumes. Peter, understandably, was upset that he had to basically kick out Gwen and MJ to go fight an old man with wings. He suits up and heads out.
Man, sometimes I really hate the whole "with great power comes great responsibility" thing.
Now outside, Spider-Man latches onto both of the vultures with his webs. Both vultures are fighting over a bag of money. Spider-Man!
Ugh.
Let me see. You were both over at the pet store, and they only had one bag of birdseed left, and one thing led to another. So now Spidey winds up with a cleanup on aisle 4.
Now fighting in the sky, Spider-Man is doing much better than he was last time. He's actually doing a little too well, and accidentally knocks Blackie into the corner of a building, which causes him to pass out and drop the bag of money. The bag falls right in front of Flash Thompson as he is walking down to the street. But unlucky for him, a falling piece of debris is also falling, and is about to hit him on the head. At the last second, Spidey abandons the vultures, swings Flash to safety. You saved my life.
Yep, it's what I do for a living, despite what the Daily Bugle says.
Flash, being a mega fan of Spider-Man, lets Spidey know that he doesn't believe a word that the Bugle says about him. Peter leaves the money with Flash and tells him that he needs to return the money to the bank. This moment of heroism makes Flash question. So Flash, what have you done with your own life? Spidey gets right back to business, hops on the back of Adrian Toombs and slams him right into Blackie Drago, leaving them both knocked out. But not without getting a piece of his costume torn off by a piece of scrap metal.
And that, gentlemen, is how you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Peter hurries back and finds Flash, MJ, and Gwen at the apartment. Flash is in the middle of telling them about his run-in with Spider-Man and how it inspired him. Peter seems a little confused, only to hear Flash tell him, "I joined the army." Back where Spidey took down both vultures, the mysterious man appears and finds the piece of Spider-Man's suit that was left behind. He sniffs the cloth and then immediately runs towards Peter's apartment and watches them through the window.
I was getting to a point where I felt like I had to make a decision, Gwen. One that would eventually determine if I would spend the rest of my life with you or MJ. What I didn't know then was the decision was never mine to make. And that's chapter 5.
That was a nice
That chapter felt very like it wrapped things up quickly.
Yeah, it's
That
a
was
quick
really
one.
fast.
It's mostly he's just sick in bed. MJ and Gwen are like, look at me, and then he's like, I gotta go, and then he fights.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Yeah, it's mostly
Yeah.
it's mostly just to get Peter thinking like, damn, which decision should I make?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Huck Finn and chicken noodle soup getting shoved down him.
Yeah.
It's hard. About to
Oh.
begin.
Yep.
Well, shit. Chapter 6, all of me.
Last chapter.
Yeah, this is the last chapter. Wow.
Final.
Final.
Crazy.
Yep.
Nay.
Here we
Come
go.
by Quast.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, Gwen. I fell asleep with the tape recorder on, and I had a dream about you. We were just hanging out an ordinary day, only you were alive. But it felt so real. The wind in your hair, your laugh, it felt so real. But the strangest part was that it was today. Not in the past, but you were still alive. Today. Life can be so unfair, Gwen. But I should keep going. So where was I? Oh, it was Valentine's Day. I remember because I got a Valentine that was unsigned, except for a little smiley face.
Any idea who sent it?
It's probably my Aunt May.
Could be worse. Could be from Flash.
Harry asks for Peter's aftershave as they talk a little bit about how good Peter has it, since Gwen and MJ are eating out of his hand. But Peter gets saved from such an awkward conversation when Gwen rings the doorbell. Peter greets her and takes her coat. But before he can close the door, MJ walks in and kisses Peter on the cheek.
MJ, you look...
Fabulous. I know. It's a gift.
The rest of the party arrives as Peter's hands get increasingly full of everyone's coats. Peter wants to enjoy the party, but his spider sense keeps going off. But before he can figure out the danger finds him.
In their den, he hunts the lion.
It's then revealed that this mystery man who has been tracking Spider-Man throughout the whole story is none other than Kraven the Hunter. He comes crashing into the apartment through the sunroof, carrying a net. He claims
He is here.
being recently inspired by the actions of Spider-Man, Flash jumps onto Kraven's back and tries to subdue him.
Dumbass.
But Kraven is the greatest hunter in the world. He makes quick work of Flash and punches him across the room.
Damn.
Flash falls back right into Peter's arms. Harry, full of fear, tries to run. Kraven looks back at him and says,
You.
Me?
Kraven grabs Harry and jumps out the closest window. High up on a nearby construction site, Kraven dangles Harry's body over the ledge.
I almost wish you'd fight. It would make the kill more worthwhile.
Harry, scared out of his mind,
I don't want to fight you. Please, you've got the wrong guy.
It is pointless to deny it. I have your scent.
Spider-Man steps in just in time to stop Kraven from throwing Harry to his death. Peter realizes that lending Harry his aftershave caused Kraven to mistake their scents. Peter directs the attention towards Harry.
Easy there. I'll get you home. Just as soon as...
Look out!
Kraven sneaks up on Spider-Man and hits him right at the base of his neck. Then again, right across the jaw. Kraven isn't pulling any punches. He continues to beat Spider-Man senseless, giving Peter little time to recover. Luckily, Harry steps in
Jerk.
and hits Kraven right on top of the head with the closest object he found. Sadly for Harry, the hit didn't really faze Kraven.
That was a very foolish thing to do.
Kraven then grabs Harry when Norman appears through an elevator shaft, yelling at Kraven to let go of his son.
Leave him alone, you animal.
Wait, I know you. You're...
Spidey then interrupts Kraven with a stinging right hook to the temple. The double hammer fist to the jaw. Kraven was as good as beating
I would say
as he felt.
he's as good as beaten.
He was as good as beaten as he fell into the ground. Norman feverishly thanks Spider-Man for saving his son, then walks over to embrace Harry. Peter swings back to his room, where he can finally change back into street clothes, when suddenly his door cracks open.
Peter? Everyone's gone home and I thought I heard...
Yeah, Glenn, it's me. Just 1 second. Griffin.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was Gwen. Gwen peeks her head in before Peter finishes the sentence.
Oh, I didn't know you were getting dressed.
Undressed, actually. Sorry, Glenn. I thought everyone had left by now, so I was just getting ready for bed, and some night, huh?
Yeah.
Gwen begins to tell Peter about how impressed she was with his bravery. When Kraven showed up, everyone ran, except him. She says to him,
And I got to thinking, maybe that's somebody I should get to know better.
Gwen picks up the unsigned Valentine's card from Peter's wardrobe, the one with the smiley face, and asks Peter,
Did you read it?
Yes.
And?
And?
Peter, will you be my Valentine?
She steps in, grabs his face, and kisses him.
And that's when you had me, Gwen Stacy. All of me.
Back to modern day, we see Peter in his attic, finishing his recording.
Gwen, I spent years trying to make sense of your death. trying my hardest to see any good that came after all the bad. For a while I couldn't see it, but at some point looking back on it, I found one bit of good. After everything that happened to you, after the funeral, MJ came to comfort me. If I'm being honest, Gwen, I was pretty rude to her. I didn't want to deal with the life is a party and MJ is the cake thing. But I think your death was a wake-up call for MJ. She realized that we weren't all going to live forever, and at some point the party was going to end. Gwen, I don't think MJ and I would be where we are now without your death. I don't think MJ would have been ready for a serious relationship with me if she didn't go through the grief of losing you. She eventually became my wife, and she taught me everything. She taught me how to love again.
Peter.
MJ comes up the stairs to check on Peter.
MJ, how long have you been listening?
Long enough.
I'm sorry, MJ. I didn't mean for you to hear.
It's all right. I just came up here to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Will you do me a favor, Peter? Say hello for me. Tell Gwen I miss her too.
Mary Jane heads back downstairs as Peter finishes his note for Gwen.
That was MJ. She says hi, and I should get going. I guess if I were to sum up how I feel around this time of year, I feel blue. And I long for a time where an amazing girl with a wonderful smile and such a good heart made me think life can be great. Boom!
Finn.
That's Spider-Man
Spider-
Blue,
That is
baby.
Spider-Man Blue.
That is Spider-Man Blue.
That's such a beautiful story.
It's so good,
And
dude.
I know I was joking with MJ's voice,
What?
but I think it's a great story.
No, it is great. The ending of it
love
is
it.
like the saddest thing. Every time
Yeah.
like reading it back to write this whole thing, just like for writing for the script, I was like about to tear up, and I'm like, damn, this shit hurts. It's so sad.
It's also great, like, character development for MJ. And you know, we don't see the character development for MJ and Peter. It's just like the final lines of MJ wanting him to tell Gwen hi for her because she misses her is really good. Even though, like, the whole story we were talking about, it was like they're rivals, but really it was like they had a friendship, they had a relationship, and
It's also nice because
It's
you can immediately tell the growth to where up until
they are older.
Yeah, because everything up until that point at the end, everything is just about MJ, and then at the end, even though Peter's like talking about another girl, all she cares about is making sure he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time you see her like really caring about somebody else outside of like just trying to get her own benefit. It is cool to see, like, it's very small, but you could tell a big difference in MJ's personality.
My only gripe with the story is Peter not ever answering any of Harry's questions.
And there was
Ever.
no Scorpion.
No Scorpion. I feel like they did not use Blackie enough.
Yeah, dude, he should have been in it more. No,
Yeah,
I love...
Let's petition for Spider-Man movie villains Blackie, Drago.
Yep. Let's get him
I
in
mean,
there.
they did Vulture already, so they could
Yeah,
do it.
so
and
they
it
could
makes
bring in
sense.
They
Blackie.
could.
We'll just have...
They have
just
Michael
him have
Keaton
a-
having a heart attack.
I was about to say, yeah. Have him have a heart attack. Have Blackie get on
I don't
it.
even know what universe is he even in now.
I think he...
He's
I don't...
like-
I haven't
he's in
seen...
the Sony one right now.
Oh, you talking about the movie one?
Morbius, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I think he's in the
talking about
Morbius one.
Never
Not
finished
Blackie.
Morbius.
Yeah, I never watched it. I didn't
At
want to
the
get
end
my
of
heart
it-
broken.
Vulture walks up and he's like, "We gotta get a team."
Yeah, no.
We're family.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I love this story. I love every chapter having a different villain, and they're all fun villains too. They're all the good
Yeah.
ones. I love it.
And Gwen died.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame, dude. It's a damn
Yeah,
shame.
no, it's really heartfelt.
No, yeah, but I do. It's especially like the artwork in it. It's so good, and it feels very classic Spider-Man. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm really curious if anyone does listen to this, how they feel about all of our voices, or if they even like this.
Yeah, that's true. I'm realizing now we didn't even really explain what we were doing in the beginning. We just started reading.
I did. I think I did.
Kind of, yeah. I guess we could have done a better job giving a rundown of like we're reading these voices.
Having
and
an
all that.
intro would help.
Yeah,
We're kind of doing comic story.
We can.
basically, we're in our infancy here.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's also other podcasts that read stories and
Yeah,
do stuff. It's ours are comics.
We're fucking copying Benny.
Yep, good old.
R.I.P. to a legend.
Love
Yeah,
it.
dude. I'm still
Very
upset
good.
that he's dead.
I know
Yeah.
it's still setting.
It's not. It's weird to think that like, because he was like old reliable. Like he was always there doing his
Yeah.
thing, no matter like how like far or like how long it's been since I last.
Yeah,
listened
I like
to it,
his
but
brother
now-
though. I like his brother.
I didn't know his brother was doing it. I haven't.
Yeah, his brother's
really-
doing it now.
I've been
It's
listening to like when he passed. I was listening back to like his old stuff.
Yeah. I always like Comic Historian more than Comics Explained though.
Sam.
Yeah, same. I was more
Yeah.
of a comic historian guy.
Yep.
Even though I believe Rob, yeah, that's his name, Rob from Comics
Yeah.
Explained, he probably has a greater knowledge of
Yeah.
this stuff.
I always felt like you get a better understanding of the story through Comic Historian though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually like I think Comics Explained just literally tells it from his memory.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
he just kind of sits down. He's like, yeah, I think Gambit hits a crystal at some point. And he's like, which like it's
Which
cool.
is awesome.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's
essentially
great.
what
Crazy
is
he
happening
remembers
here.
it all.
Yeah,
Essentially, what is happening here?
yeah.
Oh, that's
But
really
it's
yeah.
great. But yeah.
Well, we're
yeah,
gonna have
no.
to fight him eventually.
Yep.
Yeah,
We have to
we're
duke
gonna
it
have
out.
to. We're 3v1 him.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wins.
Yeah, he'll probably win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're rambling for too
Well-
long. We'll end it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll end it
Yeah,
off.
end it.
Yep.
You know,
Thank you for anyone who listened, which is probably nobody, but
probably nobody.
If anyone's made it this far
We're-
and is still listening, I love you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that next week we'll probably beat the JRE experience.
Yeah, dude.
In
Joe Rogan better
viewership?
watch out.
We're coming for you, Joe.
Yeah.
You fuck.
I'm so like disconnected with that show that you said JRE for
I-
a second, and I was like,
I haven't watched it since like high
I was
school.
like,
Yeah.
JRE, and then I was like, oh, Joe Rogan.
Yep.
Yeah, you know
Alright.
what? Let's just firm stand. Fuck Joe Rogan.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. Fuck you,
Let's just
Joe.
say it.
And your weird friend Elon.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you have weird nipples, dude.
Yeah, bro. Killer
Yeah.
spinning back kick though.
Yeah, you're jacked. Please don't hurt
Yeah.
me.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to anyone who listened.
Thanks for
And-
listening.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
and I
you.
love you.